What happens when you combine AI, women's feedback, and the science of attraction? And then you wrap it all up and turn it into a business. We're going to find out. Glovisor welcomes the co-founder and CEO of MagneticAI, an AI-powered photo feedback app using real data. Jesse Jaffe.
Hey, Joe. Thanks for having me. Very excited to be here and talk about magnetic AI.
Glad you're here today. All right, so Jesse, tell us what you do.
I'm an entrepreneur. I love the startup life. This is my second startup, and we are looking to solve the problem of male loneliness. And we have a theory on why that's happening. Since the internet, men have never needed to care about their photos. But since dating apps, specifically the last 10 years, it is the number one thing that matters in terms of attracting women online. So, what if you can get advice from women about your photo at scale? So, that's the first question we asked. And we went on our journey and to build our app. It was launched pretty recently. It's available. And that's how we started.
Wow. All right. So this is really, really interesting to me because this is very niche, right? It's like it's not a very common thing. So what brought this on? How did you get started?
So, I was in New York City and we had our group of friends. And there was one of our female friends was very articulate about what should be in a guy's dating profile. And what she did was took new photos of us, rearranged some photos, and we saw instant results on our dating profile. But it was interesting that some of us got better results than others. And that's when I really started thinking and researching. What ended up happening was that, yes, advice from a female friend or sibling is helpful or could be helpful, but that's that's one woman with one set of preferences, grew up in one kind of place, has one set of values. So then I thought, what if we can aggregate a diverse set of women? And then my partner came along, and he's a data science guy. And we talked about a way, building a model that we could have women rate photos of men and take the data and build a model that can predict what women would think of a guy's photo. And it took a lot of time. We can go into it, but that's how it started.
So, okay, so I'm curious right from the beginning, does being really good looking play anything? Because you said that some of you guys were getting some feedback, much more feedback than others. Did your look have anything to do with it?
So what we found in the data is, so you're referencing a fixed trait like handsomeness, and there's other fixed traits like age and ethnicity, height. We found that the things that you could change, what we call changeable variables, are more impactful to your attractiveness to women in a photographic context than fixed variables. And we've calculated a number, 59% for changeable variables, 41% for fixed variables in terms of their influence to your score. So yes, the answer to your question is yes, handsomeness does matter, but the great news is that what matters more are things you can change, like your facial expression, like what's in the background, like your clothes, and many other things. But what I was saying before is the other reason why that some guys got better feedback in dating apps than others, because it was one woman who was giving us advice. And so what I was demonstrating there is that we've built a completely different and way better solution because we're aggregating women's ratings across a diverse set of women. So in our data set right now, so we've launched version 0.1 of the model. we have 4 different ethnicities and 2 different age groups. And what you really want is a diverse set. Like, take anything, take any source of truth that you're looking for. You ask one person on the street, how confident are you that that is the answer? But if you ask 50, 500, 5,000 people on the street, and you get the averages, then you're much more confident on the answer. In this case, we want to know whether this photo should or should not be included in your dating profile.
Wow. Now, this makes a lot of sense, of course. But, looking at the bigger picture, you were just thinking, okay, do we need to generate a model or maybe a group of 1,000, 2,000? Is there a number when you're looking to set this up? Do you have a set number
That's a great,
mathematically and scientifically?
yeah, that's a great question. So it really depends on how deep you want to go in the model. So I'll give you an example. So right now we have in our model that having a dog in your photo boosts your attractiveness to women by an average of 21%. However, what if we narrowed that, what we call label? So that's a label. What if we narrow that and divide that in between big dog and small dog? Now we might see differences in terms of different types of women and how they react to a big dog versus a small dog. So if you want to go very specific, obviously you're going to need more observations. You're going to need more photos. You're going to need more ratings. But maybe you're asking what our personal goals are. I have a number in mind. I think we to have a really, really interesting and deep model that gives you all this nuance. We haven't even talked about segmentation yet, but what I'm thinking of is 50 million ratings on at least 1 million photos. And I think that's going to take probably 5 to 7 years, maybe longer.
Did you just start in the past year working on this app?
Well, we started with just research. We did about 5 months of research, and we can go into that if you'd like. So we did a study to prove that men do not know how to appeal to women online. So what we did is we had around 100 men and 100 women, and we had 20 photos of the same guy. We asked women to rate the photos like they, normally would. Then we asked the men, what do you think women would rate those photos? And we found that on average, some of the men were more than one standard deviation wrong compared to the women's ratings. So it was statistically significant that men did not know what women would think of a photo. And so that to us proved that, yes, there is indeed a problem here that men do not know how to appeal to women online. So we did that research first. Then we really went all in to put in the development resources and all of that too. So what we had to do was we had to find women to rate photos of men. And as two guys, we're two co-founders, me and my co-founder. Not easy, not easy. And so we had to recruit 50 women in the first model here. And it took us around almost 5 months to not only just recruit for them to do all the ratings that we wanted them to do too. And so, part of what we want to do is that should be done by a woman, that job. So a lot of kind of recruiting sales lessons there learned. And then we had to build 2 apps, a web app, a custom web app for the women to rate photos, and the app that's live now in the App Store for the men to get feedback.
So, but before you started all this, did you do a lot of research as to is there anyone else doing this anywhere else in this planet that's focusing on solving these issues of photos and men dating?
There is. So we do have some competitors' apps. However, none of them at least promote that their feedback is based on real human rating data. So there's really 2 types of apps. There's these looks maxing apps that really focus on your face. Now, facial data is very common. It's very widespread in the market, just facial data. But we're talking about dating photo type data. And so what I think is going on is that, like I said, some of the looks maxing apps focus on face only. So not really competitors, kind of. That's more fixed traits. We're more, so I didn't mention this, but the feedback you get from our app is only the changeable traits. The score that you get and the feedback that you get are only things you can change. Now, there's other apps that do dating photo type feedback, but since they don't promote that they're trained on real human rating data, they're probably just prompting their way as a kind of a GPT wrapper type thing to give guys feedback.
Okay. So,
Because it's much harder. It's much, much harder to actually recruit women, pay them, and to get real rating data.
of course, it seems very difficult. You need another dating app in order to collect those, right? Is what you're
Well,
doing.
this is actually a very good point that you're bringing up. Just talking about if anyone's watching this that's thinking about being an entrepreneur, I would warn you against starting something that requires a network upfront. So a dating app requires a network upfront. That is really, really hard to do. Too hard for me to do. But what I'm doing here with Magnetic AI is you start with a feature. You start with something unique, and then you can evolve that into a network, which we do plan to do as well. We do plan on taking this kind of photo feedback engine as the kind of heart of a future dating app. But just conceptually, if you can start with a feature first, get users, and then use those users to seed the network, I think that's a better way to go about it.
When you say feature, what do you can you explain a little bit more about that?
So our app is a feature. It's a photo feedback feature. It doesn't require a network. It's a service. Any useful thing that you can provide to people that does not require a network, I would call a feature, if that makes sense.
Okay. So you're recommending to first have a feature to get started. It's is that sort of the like a free proposition for people to start utilizing the tool?
Yeah, so it would be helpful if you can find a way to do a freemium type deal like we have. Maybe we can go into this now. So how do you do freemium? Take, I love to talk about Robinhood when I talk about this. So you guys, everyone probably knows the Robinhood app. And what they did is they came out and undercut their competitors that charge commission fees on trading stocks. But how did they do that? How did they make money? What they did was they used the data to license the data. So you get the in-app experience is free, and then they use that to build a B2B licensing business, if that makes sense. And that's what we're essentially doing here. So everyone that signs up to the app, you'll see a message in the sign up screen that says, we may use these insights for anonymized licensing. So it's all anonymous. I'll give you an example. Like ripped jeans, according to version 0.1 of the model, tanks your attractiveness by around 14%. That's an example of something that we have the terms to license to third parties. And so the overall business plan is to subsidize the experience more and more for in-app users because we're accessing actually this much larger market of data licensing. In our case, I've calculated licensing attractiveness type data. And by the way, we want to get both sides, like reverse the genders eventually too, as at least 25 times larger than all dating apps combined. And so if we're able to access that market, then we can, you know, so right now it's 4 free photos per month. That's our freemium deal. But the more we get access to this market, that can go to 6 per month, 10 per month, 12 per month, as if we're able to monetize the data. So that's one way to do it
If they sign up today, they can upload 4 photos.
per month
And
for free.
now what happens? It just automatically sends you a message or does it improve it for you? How does that work?
Yep. So we're a photo feedback app. So we give you very specific information on basically two things. One, should you post this photo on your dating app? And 2, why or why not? And a subgroup of the second reason is the degree in which these reasons that positively or negatively contribute to your photo matter. So I'll give you a specific examples here. So the magic number in the app is 6. All photos you get, so you get a 1 to 10 score. That's the first thing you see. All photos less than a 6, remove from your profile. Keep the ones 6 or more. Then you're going to see specific reasons. For example, on the positive side, smiling with teeth, and the severity or how much or how little it helped the score. So in this case, smiling with teeth is strongly positive to your score. And we have many that are slightly positive. We have some that are strongly negative. Like, for example, having a photo with artificial light. I use that example because that was the photo on my profile that I removed that I thought was a cool photo. As a guy, I thought it was a cool photo. I had this red artificial light. I was in a bar. I thought I looked cool. Well, it's actually very negative. That was something that surprised me. And why is that? Because it's probably because of visibility. So when you have artificial light, it's kind of hard to tell what you look like. So you get the 1 to 10 score. You get up to 4 positive and negative feedbacks, and the severity in which it influenced. That's in the free version. In the paid version, we have one premium feature right now, which is the full breakdown. So you get more than 4. You get the max, everything that the model picks up from your photo. And I'm sorry, and in the premium version, you get the exact numerical contribution for each of the label to the final score.
Okay. So now the app tells me that it's a number 5. So automatically I know I have to do something with that photo. So let's just say it's lighting. Can I just lighten that photo up? And then would I just resubmit it back to the app so to see if it confirms that I'm now a 7 versus a 5?
Yeah, so the example you give with lighting is actually one of the few examples that you could do something like that, because there are tools that you can manipulate the lighting in your photo. But um, for example, if you're snarling, like that's an example of something that's very negative, or if you have your tongue out, women don't like that according to the model, you're going to have to take a new photo. So actually, let's double click on this for a second. So we've gotten feedback from some of our users that, why don't you generate me a new photo based on the feedback? Well, we are philosophically against that for 2 reasons. One, women, we know, value authenticity really high. And we want to get more data on this, but I'm very sure that if a woman detects that that your photo is AI generated or heavily edited, it's likely not going to help you. And we want to help men attract women online. And so what you should do, if you get a 5, you're going to have to take a new photo. Now, we did also get feedback that, yeah, it's kind of a pain to take a new photo. But I would say, you're going to be able to get instant improvement by just removing that. So the 5, remove it and just save. You should have at least 4 photos that you get equal to or greater than a 6 in the app. So you don't really have to do anything. Just remove the photos you get less than a 6. And eventually you're going to have to probably take more photos, but you're going to know exactly what to do because the app will tell you. And just one last thing, we also came out, which we'll share later on this call, our insight report. It's a free PDF that you get to see all of the insights from the model. Because when you do a photo, it only gives you the insights specific to that photo. So I'll give you an example. Me, I shave my face. This is the facial hair arrangement that I just choose to do. But I would never know that actually the highest rated facial hair arrangement in the model is a medium goatee. I never wear goatees. But so we came out with this report that this first version is going to be free, We may sell it in the future. We may kind of give it as a reward in the future, but you can basically what I'm trying to say is that you're going to be able to learn by using the app yourself, even without the insight report, about specifics on your photos that you're doing. And you can access this insight report to learn a lot more from the model.
Wow. So I like it because you said it's a medium goatee versus, I guess, larger goatee, or I guess there's different levels. So you're kind of granular, right? You're
Well, there was a lot of debates with me and my co-founder on how granular we should be in this first version of the model. So some of the, call it types of feedback, is more granular than others. Facial hair is one of them, and your head of hair is one of them too. But others, like for example, we have jeans and we have ripped jeans. We don't go more granular than that. We have a long sleeve t-shirt, short sleeve t-shirt. We don't go colors. So there's a lot more opportunity to go granular, but we were able to sneak it in on some of the labels in this first version.
sure. Well, at least not yet, right? You're gonna get to the next level, and I'm
Right.
sure that's when you get a lot of these angel investors to come in. That they can actually, and this is the time to talk to you, right? At the beginning stages of it, before you blow up, and then it's too late for anybody to invest with you.
Yeah, so we are going to be looking to fundraise next month. And part of what we're going to do with the money is pay one more, much larger cohort of women to unlock segmentation. So, segmentation is the feature that all of our users are most excited about. And that's going to be the ability to get feedback based on a woman's age and ethnicity, specific feedback. So, even in the first version of our model right now, it's skewed towards white and Latina women. And we have found, even in this first version, although don't have the feature shipped yet, but just in the insight report, you'll see that there's very interesting differences between those two subgroups. I'll give you one for example. If you have a same age female in your photo, Latina women really don't like it. Very negative. White women, it's just slightly negative. So you can think about in the future version that we want to ship, people have their type. You can target directly to your type. And we want that, and we can get much more specific and granular on that. But we do want to ship our first kind of version of segmentation with the money that we want to raise.
Wow. It seems like it's a whole world. I mean, there's so many different variations of things that you're going to be able to get into, and segmentations that you'll be able to probably sell all this data. Think about what you'll know that most people want to know.
That's
Uh,
why we think the data licensing market is at least 25 times larger than all dating apps combined. And maybe it might be interesting to talk about the competitive research that I did in the data licensing market. We do not see any company that has the authority to license these type of attractiveness insights to third parties. So think about which companies, first of all, what do you need? You need the photo data and you need rating data. That's what you need. The biggest companies that have photo data are Meta, Match Group, which is the company that owns Tinder, Hinge, and I think a dozen other dating apps, and Bumble, which is a big dating app that it's its own public company. Now, these dating apps, let's just talk about the dating apps for a second, the two public companies. They have two major problems that's blocking them from doing this. One is their terms of service. So they were coming up and getting popular in the era of we don't sell your data. That was very much what everyone was talking about at the time. So very importantly, they do not have the terms, and and if you look into this like I have, it's very, very painful for them to change just a little bit of the terms to let us do a little bit. So Bumble went through that exercise in 2024, and they're in basically quicksand when it comes to this. But even besides that, they have another big problem. The swipe data is contaminated. So it's helpful to think about this compared to what we do. So we just have a photo and the women rate it 1 to 5. And then we label the photo in the background and we do data science to find why they rated it as they did. Now, on dating apps, they have only binary. So it's basically like yes or no. It's a swipe decision. However, that decision, what factors into that decision? It's not just the photo, it's the bio, it's the distance away, it's the interest, it's religion, it's other things that are taking away from the pure attractiveness data that's actually very valuable. So the point is that the dating apps, yes, they have interesting data, but we have also interesting data, but unique because it's pure attractiveness data.
Right. You're definitely different in your space for sure. But before we move on, one thing I did not ask you, do we have a success story that you've heard of while using your app?
Yes. So one is myself. What we found is that if you have you normally have 4 to 6 photos on your dating app. If one of those photos is rated very poorly, you're out basically. You need to have certain minimum standards for all your photos. So I removed that one photo that I had the artificial lights that I mentioned, and I did a lot better. Now, outside of me, we are getting feedback that by just removing the photos less than a 6, we are seeing great results. And in fact, this is one of the, drawbacks because we don't have our own dating app. So we cannot verify it since we're just starting as a feature, like I mentioned. So what we do want to do is in our marketing campaign that we want to do after fundraising, we want to encourage other kind of users that have small social media accounts to post their success stories. They send us messages, but it's not, they're not posting it online yet, but we've been out for a little over 4 weeks and we expect more and more of those stories to come. And then, of course, the other vector is looking at our paid users. We think that if you're willing to pay for the app, then you're likely seeing results from the app. And so we already do have paid subs without a marketing budget. And but you bring up a very important point, and that we've focused on in our marketing plan. We want to encourage others to share their results using Magnetic AI.
You want to hear back from them, but I do like the direction you're taking this of also you want them to post it because that's helpful long term marketing wise. So that's pretty genius too.
Yeah, well, look, no one's going to believe you if you just say, yeah, it's helping. So we need them to post it in public. I've posted mine, and we need to encourage others to post theirs, and there should be incentives for that.
And I like that you're not just a founder, you're also a user of it. I think I'm going to have to upload my photo and see what it says. Although I'm married, but I just want to see what it says. Am I a 5? Am I a 7? Is there therapy that goes along with it just in case I get a 4 or a 3?
Well, okay, so there's a couple things there. One is there's this really interesting curiosity factor that we're seeing. So for example, I've seen very old men use our app, and I'm not sure they're in the dating scene. I'm pretty sure they're not using dating apps. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
but I think there's curiosity. And so this is actually a very good sign that it shows that you're building something unique. If people are just using your app just for the curiosity factor, it's a very good sign that you don't have many competitors. So that's number one. Now, the therapy that you're talking about, we put in a lot of effort in how we portray negative feedback. And so you shouldn't require therapy is our goal in using our app. And we make sure that it's just purely objective, where you get a low score, you find out why, these reasons why you can easily change. So in that case, you would need therapy if you're getting reasons why for your fixed traits. And that's unethical to do. Like, if you really want to know, you can download or pay for the insight report. and then it'll show you the fixed traits in general and how they are differing among different sets of women. But in the app, we're very, very careful on how we portray negative feedback.
Well, that's great. But I was just thinking about this. Even if you're not using for a dating app, and maybe the older customers that are downloading it, maybe they're using it for business. I'm thinking, how do I come through in the video? Do I seem okay? Would ladies consider me, want to watch me a little bit longer if I looked in a certain way? Would that make a difference?
It's a
Uh,
very good point. It's a very good point. Maybe. Look, we don't know. We don't know why they're using the app. We don't ask. It's totally private. We want to keep it that way. So, um, very interesting what you're saying, Joe. We had considered like your LinkedIn kind of profile photo. That's more of a business kind of photo, but I think you would need different kind of raters. But if you're talking about like a YouTube video, then maybe our app is perfect for that. I would love to hear, I mean, if we can get feedback based on if you used our app and you got more like views from your thumbnail, that would be awesome. We haven't really marketed that potential benefit, but that's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say for everyone to just download it and give it a try. Try it on your LinkedIn app. Try it on your videos. Try it on Instagram. Whatever it is that you're using, why not? And see if it makes any difference at all. And post your response and tag Magnetic AI for sure.
It's
Um,
free to use. It's free to try.
Absolutely. But Jesse, I wanted to go on the personal side. Now, as a CEO and founder, I mean, that's tough. I mean, you're wearing a lot of hats. What's your favorite part of being a founder, which is very, very cool to be a founder of something so exciting and new and different. But at the same time, it's all on you. It's tough. I mean, you're pushing this, big rock up the hill. And once you get to the other side, it's going to be fantastic. But for now, what are your favorite things to do and your not so favorite things to do?
Yeah. So being a founder, you definitely need a certain personality type. It's more about I just can't I can't be an employee. I think I have ideas. I think that there's a lot of problems that are underserved that are just not being addressed. It requires a lot of risk tolerance, but it requires just something that you just can't live without. I just couldn't live without being my own boss, working on my own stuff. I was not happy as a person, as an employee. So it's really so my favorite thing to do is finding discoveries where I'm researching, I'm talking with my co-founders or my partners, and we are discovering things. Like, for example, when I did the legal research and I discovered that no other company has the legal authority to license this kind of data, and it's a $300 billion market. So that's a highlight of my uh, startup career. But and then of course the things that are not so fun are the sacrifices, are is the risk. It's eating KFC at night sometimes when you don't want to. It's it's a whole it can be very painful at times. So Elon Musk famously said that doing a startup is like eating a glass sandwich and staring into the abyss. Now, his startups are much harder than what I'm doing, but it's it's look, if you I would say do not do it like I did, although I feel like I have no other choice to do it like I did. What you I would recommend, if you work at a company, you save some money, you give yourself 3 years of runway, and then you do a startup.
And then, okay, so you're thinking after 3 years, you should know whether that's the direction you want to go or not.
No, I'm saying within 3 years, you're gonna know whether your product works or not, and it's worth continuing with the startup.
Okay. So that's the ramp up time. Okay. That you should have. And
That's a
then
very common, like, break point, 3 years for a startup.
and what can you see today that would make you extend that to 4 and 5 years? What do you need to see?
Well, I need to see investment activity. I need to see user growth. I need to see revenue, premium and conversion rate. There's we're at the point where there's many, many signals at this point. It's recruiting, although we've already proven that. I think we can recruit more, but it's just more about, is the app growing? Are investors on board? And of course, the deals. Are we able to get licensing deals? Are companies interested in this data? I mean, I've already talked to a couple that are interested, but can we get to that data set size? So going back to the reason why you had asked me how big of a data set size, I said 50 million ratings on a million photos. This is some of the feedback I've gotten from like hedge fund type guys, that they want to they're not interested in the data set if it's not continuous and it's not at a certain size. So the great thing about startups is that you have very incremental milestones, that it's very clear how and if you are progressing. It's very, very easy to see. And it's I've noticed it all the way since I started this, from the research phase to seeing like the results from the study to getting our developer on board. And now, since we launched the app, we're getting daily new user growth and paid subs without a marketing budget. I mean, that's huge. So there's a lot of things to look at.
Absolutely. But I think definitely your company's interrupting the whole system. I mean, it's going to be totally different. So I can see that this is going to be a multi episode for us because I think we're going to have to bring you back for an update soon once you
I'd
get
love
to
it.
the next level. So, Jesse, tell us if someone wants to download the app and get started and upload those poor photos, where they should go.
To access our app, go to iOS, go to the App Store, and search Magnetic AI, one word. You'll see a search result, should be first or second. It should say Magnetic AI for men, and you'll go ahead and download it. Soon we'll be on web, but for now, we're just on iOS.
Is there something special that our audience should be doing or looking for? Any suggestions that you have for them?
Well, when it comes to your photos, you must realize that in modern dating, photos are everything. So really start, if you're struggling with dating apps or if you're single and you're looking for a girlfriend, then really look at your photos and allow Magnetic AI to show you what women would think of your photos. That's very important. It's a different mindset because, like we said in the beginning, that as a guy, we've never had to care about our photos. It was, graduations and maybe at a party, but this is different. This is really intentional photo taking, and you'll learn all about what you need to do, and it will, or hopefully will, transform your dating life.
Right. Before all the VC and angel investors show up and bust down the door, if we have anybody listening who might be interested in working with you in bringing this app to life, in growing it even further, where should they contact you?
The best place to contact me is on X or Twitter. My handle is JESSETHAN3. I'm also on Instagram, the same kind of Jesse Than, JESSETHAN _. You can DM me in both of those apps. And just a quick note on what we're looking for. So I mentioned this data licensing side of things. We're going to need to build out a sales team. No one on the team right now has sales experience. So we are looking to partner with experts in the sales world.
Great. So you're looking for an in-house partnership or an external partnership? Have you thought about how you
Either
want to see
one.
that?
So I have a big influence. I read Sam Walton's autobiography, the founder of Walmart, and he said the best decision that he made was giving some equity to all his early partners. So ideally, I'm looking for someone who really sees the vision and becomes basically becomes on the cap tape, has equity. Now, of course, I'm open. I know that this is quite unconventional for a salesperson. So, of course, we're open to commission structures. We need to build out a sales system. There's going to be a lot of work to do on the sales side, and I'm pretty much open to all potential arrangements.
Yeah. Oh, sounds great. As you heard, Walmart just reached a $1 trillion valuation. So I think he was onto something.
Definitely.
Yeah. So Jesse, thank you so much for sharing the information, telling us everything about your app, and we look forward to hearing from you on a future episode, getting an update in where you are with the investors that came in, how many people have downloaded your app, hopefully thousands after they listen to this. And this is all we're looking forward for businesses like yours to grow and for you to come back and to share those stories so our listeners and people watching can actually learn the road and the journey that investors, that founders, CEOs such as yourself have to go through to make their dreams come true.
Thank you, Joe. Really appreciate the opportunity. This is actually my first podcast appearance for Magnetic AI. So hopefully the first of many. I'd be delighted to come back to share. And yeah, thanks for the invite.
Great. Thank you. Till the next one.